Welcome to the Integrated Virtual Agent Accelerator tech video. The purpose of this video is to help you get started in your own environment or deploy to Bluemix for yourselves with this accelerator. Now we'll go through provisioning the different services you need. That'll be Watson Virtual Agent, which is its own product, Watson Conversation Service, which is an API through Bluemix. We won't configure a mock CRM, but you can access the one used by this accelerator, or you can use your own. And we will go through creating a Slack bot to use with this accelerator as well. We're going to start first with setting up the Watson Virtual Agent and hooking it up to Watson Conversation Service. Now, if we go to the Watson Virtual Agent site, and you can find this by searching Watson Virtual Agent on Google, you should see a free 30-day trial if you don't already have an account, or you can sign in to open up your account. And once you have that opened, your Watson Virtual Agent homepage should look like this. This one was set up by Caitlin Rothney, and it's one of the Watson Virtual Agents we use for the actual accelerator. Now you can see up here we're at home, but you can also go to Configure, Engagement Metrics, Documentation, and Linked Workspaces. If we click on Configure, we're going to be able to see all of the core capabilities that come out of the box, essentially, with Watson Virtual Agent. But then we can also see this tab for custom capabilities. And these are the custom dialog flows and intents that come through from the conversation service. We can see we have here activate card, card lost, replace card, and report fraud. Now, if I jump over to Bluemix, here we can see that this is my conversation instance set up for this WVA demo. And if I click Launch Tool, and I already have it open, you can see that I have this WVA banking one here. And if I open that up, we can see report fraud, card lost, activate card, replace card. So any intents and entities and dialog flows you set up here can be used over here. As we can see, these are the exact same intents as we had before in the conversation service. Now to hook these up, we click up here and we can go to Linked Workspaces. Now I already have WVA banking linked here, but you can link your own by just clicking Linked Workspace and going through the process there, making sure you log into Bluemix, etc. Now, if we open up the application folder, see WVA demo, and we can see a few different files here. The files that we're going to be focusing on for this tech video are the envvars.json, the WVA credentials.json, and the manifest.yml. Right now, if we look at WVA credentials.json, we can see credentials for each demo we have. We can see Blue Mobile, Northside, Cloud9, and Armor Insurance. Now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get your bot ID, your XIBM client ID, and XIBM client secret from WVA, so you can use them, or so you can use Watson Virtual Agent within this application. Now, getting the bot ID, XIBM client ID, and XIBM client secret from WVA can be a little challenging and confusing, but I will try and walk you through getting that set up. If we go to the WVA homepage, and we up top at here, the menu, we click on Documentation, we see a section over here called Publish. If we click Publish, this quick start here will guide you through the steps necessary to get your keys, the credentials for WVA. Remember, there's 3 of them. Bot ID, XIBM client ID, and XIBM client secret. You click on developer.ibm.com/API. I'm going to open that in a new tab. If I click on that, you can see I'm still in Caitlin WVA Banking, and I click on My APIs at the top right here. Now if I click on that, Once it loads, I will see Watson Virtual Agent, and I will see a little icon over here for Manager Keys. If I click on that, I can see my keys are right here. Now if I don't have them, I can create them. I won't show them because I don't want to show them in the video, but these will be the, I believe, client XIBM client ID and XIBM client secret. Now the only thing we're missing then is the bot ID. And then to get the bot ID, I'll click on the tile, Watson Virtual Agent. I can go to Documentation. I can click on Retrieve Bot. And this section over here, I want to click Use at the top. And down at the bottom here, where it's Retrieve Bot, and Get the Bot, and I have my keys here. So they're input right there, and I can click on Test. Now that's going to return a response, and within that response is going to be the bot ID. Now I'm not going to show my bot ID because I don't want to show that for the video, but you'll be able to find yours within this response here. You have your bot ID, your XIBM client ID, and XIBM client secret. You can input them here for use with Blue Mobile, Northside, Cloud9, or Armor Insurance views of the demo. The next thing we want to focus on is the Slack integration. This is for escalating to an agent. Now, if we click on envvars.json, we can see that we have the Slack RTM, real-time messaging URL, and Slack RTM token. The URL is standard for everyone, but the token is yours specifically. Now we can find that by heading over to Slack. Now if you open up Slack, and you can see that I'm in the integrated virtual agent team, but if you open it up in your own team, you should be able to see this app directory, and you can search for the app directory as well in Google. You'll be able to browse, manage integrations, and build integrations. Now if I click on Manage, you'll be able to see that I have apps and custom integrations here. If I click on Custom Integrations, there will be bots. Now if you haven't set this up before, you won't have any custom integrations, but I just want to show you what it looks like. I can click on that, and we can see this custom integration here. And this configuration says Connect to Slack as a customer. Then this bot relays messages from the customer to agents. That's the one we want to be setting up. Now to do that, I can click on Build. And if I scroll down here, I can see bot users. So we're essentially creating a bot user within Slack. Now this will give some information about what bot users are, but you can create a new bot user by clicking this link here and adding a name. I have ours named as customer, and you can add bot integration. Now I'm not going to do that, but if I go back to Manage, I go to the custom integration that I've already made. Now I'm starting the screen a little bit lower because right above this is the token that's required. So just up here, you're going to be able to see the token that you need to input right here, Slack RTM token. You input that there. We can also see some other customizations that we can have for this bot. So we can have an icon. I think our icon has a little bit of a smirk, but you can choose any other emoji you like. A little preview message. There's no first and last name because the customer always changes. And you can see the various channels that the bot is connected to. If I open up Slack, and you'll see here I'm in this integrated virtual agent team, and I'm on my own JRV test channel that I've created, and I've made it private. You will notice that you see the customer back and forth with myself. You do have to make sure that you invite customer to join. Now you can see if I scroll to the very top, you can see that I invited customer to join. Now for any channel that you want to use this with, you do have to make sure you can just type in /invite @customer. I've already invited customer though, but make sure you do that if you want to use them in any channel that you create. Also have this cloud and customizations URL, cloud and customizations DB, username and password. This is for setting up a cloud and database to hold any customizations that users create. This is for the custom coloring, text, and bot credentials that they save. Now, you do this by setting up a cloud and DB, provisioning an instance, provisioning the cloud and service. Now if we go to Bluemix, we can see I have this cloud and NoSQL database for integrated virtual agent. You can provision your own. If I click launch, you will see I have customizations as one of the databases in there, the only database in there. And you can get the service credentials here. And that is what's going to be, those service credentials are going to be input right here. So once you provision the database and you input those credentials here, you're good to go for customizations as well. Now once you have all the credentials for Slack, Cloudant, WVA, and you've hooked up any custom dialog flows from conversation service to WVA, you're good to go for running this app locally. Now you do need to first install packages. Now there are packages, node packages on the server side as well as on the client side. And if we go to the README, we can see that to do that we either do sh./install.sh or /install.bat for Windows. So you could just type that in, sh./install sh for Macs, which was what I use, or if you are on Windows, /install.bat. Now I'm not going to do that because I've already installed my packages, but that will run. It may take a couple minutes. And then once that's complete, you can run the application, and you can run it with gulp develop. Now that will track changes if you're making changes as you go. But if I run gulp develop, it will build the application. Right now I don't have any credentials in there, so I'm not going to build this. Now if you want to run this application on Bluemix, you want to deploy to Bluemix, there's one more thing we need to do. We need to go to the manifest.yml. Now as you can see in this file here, I have domain is bluemix.net. Then we have name and host is both integrated virtual agent. So I've taken that, and you're not going to be able to use integrated virtual agent as the name or host. But you can rename these to be whatever you want. Integrated virtual agent, we'll do tech demo video. And once you've done that, you have your own unique name, then you're able to deploy to Bluemix. So we'd save that file. And if I was to deploy to Bluemix, you first need to log into Bluemix. So you can do cf login. If you don't have Cloud Foundry installed, then make sure you do that. I'm not going to go over that in the video, but once you're there, we'll sign in with my email and password. It will authenticate, and it will select the organization that I want to be in. The space that I want to deploy to. And once that's all okay, I can do cf Cloud Foundry push, cf push. I'm not going to do that, but you can hit enter, and that will push your application to Bluemix. then you're all set. I do want to do a little bit of a walkthrough in terms of the files that you'll find in the application. So you see we've gone through WVA credentials, we've gone through manifest, we've gone through env vars, and these house most of the credentials and the setup you need for Bluemix. But you'll also notice some other files, of course, everything within the server. Then there's also this custom conversations.jsons, or sorry, custom conversation JSONs folder, and this houses two JSON files that essentially just house the conversation flows for the WVA banking and WVA insurance custom dialogues. These are free to use. You can use them and import them into your own conversation service and use them as a base point for any custom dialog flows that you'd like. Now, if we click on client, I'm going to walk you through a little bit more of the application structure. So if we click on SRC, we can see app. And this is a Angular 2 application. So we can see at the start there's index, and then there's the app component and the app routing. But you're going to notice here is the menu section. So in menu we have this is the menu at the top left, which houses the four different demos and the links to the CRM and customizations. Here you can see different homes. We have Home Blue Mobile, Home Cloud9, Home Custom, and Home Northside, and as well as Home Armor Insurance. So these are all the different components for each industry demo. And then we have Home Custom, which dynamically changes based on what custom settings are active. There's also the user login, and then also, of course, the WVA chat. Now, the WVA chat is pretty important. It's a pretty big component, and it houses the Watson Virtual Agent chat widget. So if we can see here, we have. It also houses it also houses the Slack integration as well as the custom CRM integration. So we can see here that you have users login, any mailing addresses that they're setting, billing addresses, and then the configuration. So we see the custom bot service, being able to updating the bot if it changes, because there's only one WVA chat component. There's not multiple for each different chat widget. It's just that the credentials change as you switch between the different demos. And every time you switch bots, you initiate the bot again. We can see here that these are the credentials, and it's pulling from the bot ID, XIVM client ID, and XIVM client secret that are pulled from the server. Now, I'm not going to walk through all of this, but this is a lot of the logic that enables the chat widget to update address, get users' profile information, pay bills, pay balances, talk to an agent, which hooks it up to Slack, and essentially all the different bits of logic that are required for integration between WVA and the various services we have at play. Last thing I'd like to show you is some of the shared services. So we have the CRM service, and this communicates with the CRM at the back end. This communicates with the CRM through HTTP requests. We have a service for who the current user is. We have the custom bot service, custom page service, which handles whether the pages changes, the custom page information changes or not. Remember, that's the color, the text, etc. And then this customization service handles the customizations from Cloudin, so saving them to Cloudin and retrieving them from Cloudin. and then the Slack service for creating that real-time messaging WebSocket and opening that WebSocket up. That's all. Thank you very much for watching, and hope this was helpful.